Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about Sarah Paulson and whether or not she's coming back to American Horror Story. She recently spoke out about a possible return, so I wanted to go over what she said and my thoughts about it. So when asked when she would come back to the series, she said, and I quote, "I think the star of American Horror Story is American Horror Story itself." She continued, "The show is a thing that I think you can get a whole different group of actors and people will still watch it. I think that's the extraordinary thing that Ryan created, and I would love to be a part of it. One time I said that I'd like to do a vampire in space when I'm 99, and I hope the show is still going then." So on first glance, I don't think that this is really a confirmation that she's going to be coming back to the show anytime soon. I think the real big takeaway here is that when it comes to Ryan Murphy and the actors that he kind of coalesces around, I feel like all of them have a relationship that if he comes and he asks anybody to do something, he gives them a decent enough pitch, then they're going to do it. But when it comes to Sarah Paulson and her coming back to the main show, I don't really see it happening anytime soon. And even though I know a lot of people are going to go down to the comments section and talk about how Ryan Murphy wants to bring back the witches from Coven, and you can't do that without her, it's possible that that's going to be some kind of a spin-off or some kind of other crossover interwoven story that they're going to do sometime in the near future. My point here is, unless the next season is slated to be its very last, which by the day is seeming more and more unlikely, it's possible that we're not going to see her for a couple more years. The reason for this is because Ryan Murphy just has her doing so many other things right now. And that's even on top of her star power having risen so heavily over the last couple of years that she's also doing certain movies on the side. I mean, just next year alone, she's going to be in the third season of American Crime Story. She's in a movie called Run that's in post-production that's going to be released in 2020. She's going to star in one of Ryan Murphy's Netflix shows called Ratch that's already renewed for 2 seasons, and she's going to be in another television series called Miss America in 2020. I can't even begin to imagine just how busy this woman is, and it makes complete sense why she wanted to sit out this year of American Horror Story and maybe next year as well. But it is kind of nice to know that some of our biggest actors from this series do want to come back in full force sometime in the future, and I think by the time the series wraps itself up, we're going to be seeing some of the main people come back at least one more time, and it doesn't matter whether or not that season connects to all the other seasons. I just think at one point they're going to want to come back to this franchise that really helped push them in a major way into the public eye. And just while we're here, I think it would be fun to talk about some of the other things that she said when it came to American Horror Story, especially her thoughts at the beginning of the series when people didn't realize that it was going to be an anthology series. To quote her, she says that there was a real resistance at first. I think audiences freaked out. They had become really attached to the characters that they loved, and they didn't want to see those same actors play different people. Then very quickly they started to get into it, and I think they loved to see what their favorite actors were going to do next year. So one of the reasons I really wanted to cover this is because this is exactly how I felt when I first realized that American Horror Story was going to be an anthology series. I really loved the first season, but I wasn't looking too heavily into it during those first couple episodes. I wasn't going online and reading all the news and figuring out what they were going to do next season or anything else like that. Because remember, back when this show started, we didn't have television shows like this. We didn't even have that much horror-centric television in general, but you watch the events of Murder House play out, and things are happening so quickly, and they get to a point where you're thinking, how are they going to expand this into next season? I mean, I'm crossing my fingers. I can't wait to see what they do. This has been a great season and everything related to that. But then, something kind of crops up on your newsfeed or something, and it becomes a much bigger deal around the end of that season that it's going to be an anthology series, and it's going to be a completely new show with the exact same actors the very next year. And it's like, what is going on? As a fan, I was really kind of livid. I wasn't really into the whole anthology concept, but then the next year we got Asylum, and even to this day, I would say that Asylum is the best season of American Horror Story. And the year after that, we got Coven, and then Freak Show, which I think was a little bit of a step down in quality, but definitely one of the more freaky ones of the series. And then Hotel. And then, it became such a yearly annual tradition. They started connecting things, and it was like, okay, I understand what they're doing with this. I'm appreciating this, and I cannot wait for this every single year to come. So I think she's definitely right about that. There was an initial pushback, at least from my point of view, and I think a lot of other people that I talked to at the time and still do who really like this show. But when they did come back for that second year, I think they proved everyone wrong. They found their stride. And I really think that era of American Horror Story is one of the reasons that we still talk about this show today, and it's still as big of a juggernaut as it is on television. So you know what, guys? I want you to go down to the comment section below. I want you to tell me what you think about Sarah Paulson coming back. I want you to tell me what you think about this being an anthology series. What was your initial reaction to learning that was going to be an anthology series and seeing your favorite actors come back as different people instead of the characters that you knew and love, and just anything you want to talk about. Tell me your favorite season, your favorite scene from that season, or anything else in the comment section, because I want to talk to you guys. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real.